What exactly is Parkinson's disease and what are the early symptoms?
Parkinson disease is a degenerative disease.
I want to talk a bit about deep brain stimulation, DBS, what exactly it is, how it works. Please share your knowledge and insights, sir.
Yeah. So this when once we implant this DBS implant, deep brain stimulation surgery is done. Then the next process is DBS programming.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to a very, very special episode where we are going to be getting a lot of knowledge and insights. We have with us somebody truly, truly special. We have with us today Dr. Manish Baldia.
Thank you for giving this opportunity. Today, yes, we are going to have really a good session and discussion on the Parkinson's disease,
Ji.
and we will discuss about the Parkinson's disease and its uh, treatment modalities and also the advanced therapies which are coming up.
Correct. And when it comes to doctors like you who have been there, done it themselves, it's so important coming from you all because this is the world of internet, right? People literally almost Google everything and anything,
Yes.
and they are like, if अगर इतना होता है तो फिर उनको लगता है कि अरे मेरे साथ तो इतना हो गया, right? So there's so much of rumors that goes around. So your version really matters, which is why I want to get on with the first question. What exactly is Parkinson's disease and what are the early symptoms that anybody can detect, maybe in themselves or with others around them in the family? And where do they know or where do they draw the line in terms of understanding that now we need medical supervision?
Yeah. So Parkinson disease is a degenerative disease. When I say degenerative disease, it means certain cells in the brain they die. So that's what we call in medical terminology called as degeneration. So these cells secrete certain chemicals called as dopamine. So when these cells degenerate, especially pertaining to the substantia nigra nucleus,
Right.
so when these substantia nigra nucleus cells degenerate, they stop producing dopamine. Now we all know dopamine is a happy hormone, but along with that, it has various other functions in the motor circuit, in the limbic circuit, and various other circuits like memory circuit also. So dopamine helps in these various functions execution. So when this dopamine depletion happens in the body, the motor circuit predominantly doesn't work smoothly. So that's where you get your symptoms, like the initial symptoms can be slowness in the body, it can be stiffness in the body, and it can be tremors also, or it can be imbalance in the while walking. So all these symptoms are early signs of Parkinson's disease. And typically Parkinson's disease starts from one side of the body.
Okay.
It doesn't start on the both sides simultaneously.
Okay.
So characteristic features of Parkinson is on the one side of the body in the early stage, if you are having slowness or stiffness or tremors or heaviness in the leg, it can be a Parkinson. So these are the early signs of Parkinson's disease. And typically it is seen in elderly population above the age group of 50.
Yeah.
So you consider your age also. If you are above 50 and if you are facing these issues on the one side of the body, then it can be an early stage of Parkinson's disease.
But you mentioned a very critical point where you said that the age also matters. But
Yes.
is it only proven and tested historically in terms of medical, I think, history that only it affects people after 50, or can it affect the younger age group as well?
Yes. So very good question. In 5 to 10% of the population, it can also affect below the age group of 40. And that is called as young onset Parkinson disease.
When you say population, you mean global population?
Population of the Parkinson disease population.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So out of the Parkinson disease population, if you see 5 to 10% is in younger population, that is below the age group of 40.
Yeah.
And 1% you can also see below the age group of 18.
Below 18?
Yeah. So 18. So that is called as juvenile Parkinson.
Okay.
Yeah.
We talked about what is Parkinson's disease, and we also talked about what are the early symptoms, right? But is there any specific reason why this happens to individuals, and how can an individual protect? Of course, people can only take precautionary measures, nothing is guaranteed, but what do you think are some of the precautionary measures that individuals can follow from a young age group, say when they're 18, 20, in their 30s and 40s, so as to ensure that we don't develop Parkinson's when we are post 50? What are some of the things that people should ideally follow, be it food, be it lifestyle? What are the things that you would like to suggest?
Yeah. So the major cause for Parkinson disease is not yet identified, but there are various theories behind this. The most accepted theory is the gut, the bowel
Hmm.
with
Hmm.
the brain
Hmm.
connection. So the gut brain axis is a common pathway for the Parkinson's disease. So whatever we eat is very important.
Hmm.
The bacteria in the gut, how we cultivate, is very important. So our lifestyle habits or food habits will decide the Parkinson's disease. So still the research is going on, on establishing this gut brain axis, and there are also future studies coming up which will uh, pinpointedly identify the exact cause of this Parkinson's disease, and we might in future get a good remedy with simple medications also for Parkinson's disease.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you spoke about medicines. Usually, I mean, there are people who like to rely and depend on medicines, which is of course good. But also, there are people who do not like medicines because they feel it can damage their immunity. It's always better to recover without medications, right? So, is there any possibility of recovery or treatment of Parkinson's disease without opting for medication?
Yeah, see, I have treated so many patients with Parkinson disease, and I get different cohorts of patients where they have their own different lifestyles.
Hmm.
Few are from army background,
Hmm.
few are from occupational, like they are physical trainers, few are sportsmen, few are artistic people, few are software guys. So they all have different physical activities.
Hmm.
So when it comes to reducing the medication doses, so the patients who are physically very active, or who have inculcated certain type of physical activity or exercise or sports, like few of my patients play long tennis, they are very active, so their medication requirement is very low. Few are
Hmm.
swimmers, very good swimmers, they do swimming every day, so their medication requirement is also very less. So when I compare similar age group patients of with similar duration of Parkinson's, sometimes I get surprised that, oh, this patient is 72, but he's taking only half tablet twice a day, and his
Hmm.
duration of Parkinson is also almost 6 years, and this guy with 6 years duration of Parkinson is taking almost 5 tablets. So what is the difference? He also has the Parkinson duration more than 6 years, this guy also 6 years. So it is about the physical activity, how you practice, uh, how you maintain your mental well-being, and also your diet regulation, and also your physical activity. So all this matters a lot when it comes to controlling or regulating the progress of this Parkinson disease.
I think very nicely put. But life, sir, as you know, is a game of balances, and uh, so a lot of people I know as well, people in the younger age group. You spoke about the importance of diet, right? And you also spoke about the importance of workout and physical activity. I know a lot of people say in their 30s, in their 40s. Their diet is not the best. They're consuming junk food. This is the world of consumerism. They're having outside food, but at the same time, in order to be fit, they're going out and working out in the gym. So their idea and mindset is that it's okay if we are consuming the calories, we're also shedding the calories, right? So while you're doing one thing in order to avoid Parkinson, which is good workout, the diet part is not really good, right?
Yeah.
So what do you want to tell to these kind of people with this kind of mindset?
Yes. So, like many of them say, I drink everyday alcohol, but I do physical exercise also. So,
Yeah.
you should always consider that alcohol is always injurious to health. Smoking
Hmm.
is always injurious to health. So, whether you take uh, you do some remedy for it, but if you do not stop consuming, it is going to affect your brain and your heart and your vessels, everything. So degeneration progresses.
Hmm.
So it is very important that you regulate your diet. What you eat is very important. You put junk is going to come out.
Yeah.
So you need to be very cautious about what you are eating. Yes, at the same time, you need to maintain your health. You need to continue the physical activity. So similarly, like when you are going to gym, also when you're building your muscles, you need to take adequate protein, adequate supplements, and it should be balanced. It's called as balanced diet.
Correct.
If you do not take balanced diet and you just go to gym and exercise, you are going to shred calories, but you are not going to build up the muscles.
Mm.
You will not get that stamina. You'll become more weaker. So it is very important that we focus on our diet and we regulate. Yes, once in a while you can have a cheat day, but at the same time you need to be strict on your daily routines.
Absolutely. I think 1 or 2 days always good, but there should be a regular discipline which should
Correct.
be followed, right? We discussed a bit about Parkinson. I want to talk a bit about deep brain stimulation, DBS, right?
Yeah.
Again, a very important topic, quite trending when it comes to medical conversations on social media. But again, there's a lot of lack of awareness and knowledge, right? So, coming from an expert like you, what do you want to talk about DBS? What exactly it is? How it works? Please share your knowledge and insights, sir.
Yeah. So today I am going to tell my audience about the origin of DBS, which very few of them might have told you. Uh, so in the olden days, we used to do surgeries for Parkinson disease in 1980s and 90s, where we used to create a lesion in the brain, and we used to control tremors, rigidity, slowness also.
Ji,
So when we used to do that lesioning, it's a destructive procedure, lesioning.
correct.
Okay, and it's a cost-effective procedure also, where there are no implants in the body. So before, while we were doing those procedure, we used to confirm whether we are in the right target or not. To confirm that, we used to give electrical stimulation. So when we used to give electrical stimulation, the symptoms used to disappear. The tremors used to stop.
Mm,
Hand used to become free. The speed used to increase. So that's how we used to confirm that yes, this is the right target to
mm,
destroy.
mm.
So stimulation, we used to confirm that yes, this is the right target. Now with that stimulation, people have revolutionized that why to destroy the structure of the brain when we are getting the same result with electrical current. Why can't we develop a device which will constantly give the current? And that's how the brain pacemaker was developed. And it constantly gives the current to that nucleus, and it inhibits the firing which is happening in that nucleus, and it controls all the symptoms of Parkinson's disease. This is how DBS has evolved, and in 1990s they have developed the basic device, deep brain stimulation device, and they have started using it. And from 1995 to 2025, this device has revolutionized, means it has been improvised in such a way that now we can avoid all the side effects. The technique of implanting is also very smooth. It is completely computer planned,
Right.
and it's we can screen all our corridor pathway in the brain through which this lead is going through enter. So by this all this improvised technology, now it is completely a very safe procedure with very minimal risk, I would say.
There's something called DBS therapy, right? If I'm correct, what exactly is that? And if you could kindly shed some light in terms of who is considered ideal for a DBS therapy.
Yeah, so this when once we implant this DBS implant, a deep brain stimulation surgery is done,
Correct.
then the next process is DBS programming. Means we
Okay.
control the electrical parameters according to the symptoms of the Parkinson's.
Okay.
So we adjust the different current electrical parameters like pulse width, frequency, amplitude, and with the variation of these parameters,
Hmm.
you can control different symptoms. So this is called as DBS therapy, which goes on for years, and as the disease advances, you can control each and every symptom which are coming up in the coming years. So that's the advantage of DBS therapy, that it is never ending, and you can control the new coming upcoming symptoms also, and it is completely reversible. It means you can turn off the device and you will go back to your previous condition also.
Oh.
It is completely reversible because we are not destroying any structure in the brain. We are just modulating the structure by
Gee.
electrical parameters. So we are not harming the brain.
You're not harming the brain, of course. Very important, because I think there might be major concerns regarding that as well, right?
Yes.
That what is like the long term effect of these kind of things. With changing times, of course, technology evolves. Medical. I mean, the research around it, that kind of evolves as well. Uh, there's something that I've heard as a terminology called adaptive DBS, right? What exactly is adaptive DBS, sir? And how is it different from the traditional DBS that perhaps was the ideal way of starting when DBS actually started, right? How different is it? How far have we come in terms of progress in that space? And how do you think it's better than the traditional one?
Yeah, as we all know, we have entered the artificial intelligence era, where we are using AI everywhere. Whatever we want in our daily routines, works, everywhere we are using AI. So now AI has entered in DBS also.
Wow.
Yeah. So the background for this was in the brain, the neuronal firing. It has a certain characteristics in Parkinson patients. So for Parkinson patients, when there is rigidity or tremor, it has a certain bandwidth, bandwidth firing of neurons. That is called as beta band.
Right.
So that beta band is captured by these electrodes which are inserted in the DBS surgery. These are called as sensing electrodes, brain sense electrodes. So they sense the neurons, they capture the firing, and they record the waveforms in our programmer. So on the tablet, in the laptop, we can see what bandwidth it is coming. When it comes beta band, it is typically correlates with the Parkinson's symptoms. So whenever the patient is having stiffness or slowness, this beta band increases.
Acha.
This information is gathered by the pacemaker.
Okay.
Okay, and now we doctors, we give instructions to the pacemaker that you need to lower down this beta band. It should come below the desired effect. So I set up the higher level and lower level. So what does I am giving instructions to the pacemaker that for my patient there should not be any beta band. So now pacemaker adjusts the currents in such a way that there is no beta band seen. That is called as adaptive. Okay. So the pacemaker adapts to the instructions given by the doctor automatically by closed loop system. Okay. So it captures the information through its lead, it analyzes the information, and then it supplies the current to produce the result. So there is no intervention of the clinician in this. We are just giving the standing instructions. Based upon our instructions, the pacemaker functions. And throughout the day, it automatically adapts the current. It will increase according to the patient symptoms. If the patient symptoms are worsened, the current will increase. When the patient symptoms are low, when the natural dopamine is releasing, his current requirement might be low. So the pacemaker adjusts automatically the lower current.
It's an automatic
process.
Wow.
So this is a closed loop system called. That's why it's called as adaptive.
Gee.
Adaptive DBS. Now I think you are clear what the adaptive DBS means.
Absolutely, and I think our viewers will also kind of understand a tad better in terms of what they had knowledge about already. मैं आपसे सर एक चीज जरूर पूछना चाहूंगा, वो ये है कि हमारे देश में लोग ट्रीटमेंट डॉक्टर से थोड़ा डरते भी है, राइट? इफ आई पुट इट करेक्टली, लोगों को पता होता है कि ट्रीटमेंट्स क्या होता है, लेकिन नहीं, डॉक्टर के पास नहीं जाएंगे, हॉस्पिटल नहीं जाएंगे, सर्जरी नहीं कराएंगे, ये नहीं कराएंगे, वो नहीं कराएंगे. देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ रेजिस्टेंस which doesn't really go very easily, right? And that resistance comes from fear of maybe long-term ramifications and complications, long-term side effects, etc., long-term danger or health hazards, right? So ये जो entire DBS का process है सर, इसमें what are perhaps the potential long-term health hazards that could be perhaps associated, या फिर कुछ health hazards है ही नहीं around it, due to which if people are worried, they should stop worrying completely?
So obviously any surgical procedure will have its own risk. There is no surgical procedure without risk. So DBS also has its own risk, but the risk is minimized with the advancement in the technology. Yes, it is an invasive procedure. Invasive ka matlab we are making a cut in the skin and we are drilling a small hole in the skull and then we are entering. So there is always a risk of like bleeding. Bleeding ho sakta hai, like any other surgical. And then there is always a risk that you have malposition or misplaced the electrodes, जो जहाँ पे जाके exactly locate होना चाहिए वहाँ नहीं गया
है, कहीं और गया है.
Yes, so that again depends upon your technology, how good you are at using the technology. And then third point is because you are inserting a foreign body in your body, so it can always, there is a chance of risk of infection. But that again depends upon the person's immunity and the diet and also the antibiotic coverage which you use during the procedure. So there are various factors for the infection. But in a healthy individual who is walking, talking, and is healthy,
जी.
the chances of infection are less than 4%.
बट मेरा फॉलोअप सवाल आपसे यही है सर कि द वंस हु आर नेचुरली हेल्दी एंड ऑल ग्रेट, एवरीथिंग हैज बीन हंकी डोरी विद देम, उनके साथ तो नो प्रॉब्लम. बट सपोज किसी ने इन्फेक्शन डेवलप कर लिया, राइट, दैट्स नॉट द एंड ऑफ द वर्ल्ड फॉर देम, राइट? यू
No,
कैन क्योर दैट
we
इन्फेक्शन
can
एज वेल.
control the infection cure with the antibiotics.
So basically point ये है कि there's nothing to be afraid of.
Yeah.
Ideally nothing will go wrong anyway because of advancement of technology, but if anything goes wrong by any chance, that 0.01%, you can always rectify that. So there's nothing to be really afraid of, right? uh, Sir, you are quite an OG. There's a Gen Z term called OG, right? You're quite an OG in this space, right? Tell us about that patient from Hyderabad who had, I think, come to see you. I think कुछ तो interesting कहानी है उसका, and
Yes.
that's quite a memorable surgery for you, right? If you
Yeah.
could share something on that.
Yes. So there are two such patients who had cervical cord injury,
जी.
and they were completely ventilator dependent for more than 6 months.
Hmm.
So they were trying to find a solution by which they can bring out their dear ones out of the ICU. You know, ICU, staying in ICU for months together, how expensive it is and how difficult it is for the patient also,
Traumatizing of the family as well.
being just in the four walls, and continuously you are having the beep sounds of all the
Yes,
monitors,
yes.
and you can't move your hands and legs, quadriplegic. So it was a very difficult situation, and they were really trying hard to find some solution to get out of the ICU. So somehow they wanted to make him breathe, but there was no support from either from the medical fraternity or from the common public, who can give them confidence that yes, you go ahead with this type of surgery, or this type of surgery is available.
Right.
And somehow they could search through internet, and they found that this type of surgeries are done in abroad. And this guy was really well connected. He was working in UK, and uh, he got through one of the professors, and he discussed this, that my dad is suffering from this cervical cord injury and he's not able to breathe. So can we go with something called diaphragm pacing or phrenic nerve stimulation? Then he said, yes, absolutely, you can go ahead. uh, we do regularly, and there will be good improvement. But then in India, means he couldn't find good support either from
Hmm.
his relatives or from the doctor friends, because none of them have ever heard about it.
Yes.
Somehow he came in contact with me, and then I gave him a lot of confidence. But he was again going to senior people and asking them, "Should I go ahead? What do you say?" Always,
Hmm.
if I am
Of
in his
course.
position, I will also do the same.
Correct.
So, but then none of them gave him the confidence that yes, you go ahead. I have seen these cases, because none of them have seen this such type of cases. But with them, then with 2 months of counseling and discussions, then finally he agreed, and we did the procedure. Now it's almost more than 1 year. He's out of the hospital. He's doing all the advanced physiotherapies, and he's breathing on his own. His tracheostomy wound is closed.
Wow. All thanks to you.
Yes, but his dear ones, relatives, everyone said no, don't go for the surgery.
Uh, you must have been like that ultimate game changer for their
Yes,
family, right?
yes.
And how did I want to understand how the doctors around you, your peers from the medical fraternity, how did they react?
Yeah,
Because they must have been surprised.
they were completely shocked, astonished. That
कैसे किया आपने?
wow, and the physiotherapists who were giving daily physiotherapy, chest physiotherapy, they were like, wow, doctor, he's now tolerating, he's breathing on his own for
Yeah.
continuously for 8 hours,
Yeah.
now 12 hours. So they were like surprised, wow, this something magic is happening. So similarly, this Hyderabad patient also, we did sacral nerve stimulation also for him, for his urinary and bowel incontinence, which was due to his spinal cord injury. And before, when he came to our hospital, he was not even tolerating for 2 minutes without ventilator.
Mm.
His saturation was dropping down. I did phrenic nerve stimulation, and from second day only, he tolerated 3 hours of ventilator free period.
From 2 minutes to
Three
that's
hours. And now it's been 1 week, he's tolerating almost 8 hours.
wow.
Whole 8 hours he's free of ventilator. We're gradually increasing its stimulation parameters, and then I'm doing programming for him. Hope he will be out of the ventilator soon, within 2 to 3 weeks. And we have done sacral nerve stimulation also. Now he can feel senses in his perianal region, he can feel senses in his penis. So despite having cervical cord injury, complete cord, he's able to feel the senses. So that's a very good sign. I hope within 1 or 2 months he'll be able to pass the urine on his own.
There's I mean, India has always produced some wonderful doctors, right, in their own legion of space. What do you want to tell the young neurosurgeons out there, who look up to you as an inspiration and motivation? आप उनको क्या कहना चाहोगे? Because a doctor reacts to a patient's condition from his knowledge, but also sometimes it's the gut instinct that really matters, when no knowledge really helps. It's your gut instinct that matters, right? What do you want to tell to those young neurosurgeons? Because it's always about passing it back to the younger generation, right? In all your collective years of learning, experience, and the great work that you have done, what is it that you want to pass to the next generation?
See, as a doctor, we all doctors, our biggest reward is the patient going back to his work. Okay, so that gives us the biggest satisfaction. So whenever we see that because of our treatment, the patient is free of his pain or free of his disease, and he's able to be happy with his family, he's again leading his routine life, that is the biggest reward. So this is what we aim, and in functional neurosurgery, we see this often. So functional neurosurgery deals with this type of treatment where the result is instant and we make them functional again.
Hmm.
So the young neurosurgeons who wants to really see a dramatic improvement in your patients, a dramatic functional outcome, yes, functional neurosurgery is the revolutionizing branch, and you should always look doing specialization in this. And yes, this gives me the ultimate satisfaction when my patient says, "Yes, doctor, I am able to walk. My tremors have stopped. I am able to write. Uh, my rigidity is gone, or I am able to. I am pain free, or I am able to
Hmm.
breathe again." So that gives immense happiness to me.
There's a very popular saying that, in heaven you find God, and in earth you find doctors. That's exactly what it is. My last concluding question to you would be that, what would be your advice and tips to those individuals who are managing Parkinson's disease directly within themselves, or the ones in the family, if they have somebody in the family who's dealing with Parkinson's disease? What are the tips and advice on a regular basis that you would love to give them, which they should ideally follow for, a healthier tomorrow?
Yeah. So whenever any Parkinson patient, whenever they come for first time to me, I always describe them about the Parkinson disease. So Parkinson's disease mainly affects three systems of the body. The first is the motor system, which is very evident to everyone that yes, he's slowed down, he's having tremors, he's not able to walk. So that is the motor system. Everyone is concerned about that.
Yes.
But the second system is autonomic system, due to which they have slowness in the bowel movements, which causes constipation. Then there is dysregulation of the blood pressure, due to which they have frequent hypotension whenever they are standing from supine position to erect position. So that causes giddiness, falls, and the third system is the mental health, uh, which is very common in the elderly population and when the Parkinson disease advanced.
Mm.
So in them we see this mental illness. They become little selfish. They become stubborn. They have quite a lot of irritation. They have frequent mood outbursts. They cry. That's called depression, hesitation, and lack of interest in new things. They don't uh, involve or take part in the conversations or family conversations. They sit alone. They are in their own world. So all this is part of mental illness, and this is also Parkinson's symptom.
Mm.
So many families they don't regard these symptoms. They think that पापा भी बूढ़े हो गए हैं,
Mm.
ध्यान नहीं दे रहे हैं. They everything they put it to age,
They box it to age.
box it to age. क्या अभी तो इनकी लाइफ हो गई, अभी बूढ़े हो गए तो अभी
जी,
कैसे करेंगे? No,
correct.
they still have life. You have to recognize it. It's a part of Parkinson disease. You need to address it and treat it. So keeping apart this advanced treatment medications which everyone does, you need to have conservative therapies also in Parkinson disease. So conservative therapies, first we start with diet. So in diet we need to maintain a very good antioxidant diet, which are the foods which are very rich in antioxidants like uh, amla, vitamin C has very
जी.
good antioxidant, badam, then you have fish, very good in antioxidants. You have uh, red or orange vegetables or fruits. They have very good antioxidants. So your food plate should always have 50% of should be salads or this type of antioxidant foods, and then 50% should be your basic food like roti, rice, dal.
Hmm.
So this is very important to do it on a daily basis. Then many of them
Hmm.
consume tea, coffee
Hmm.
also.
Right.
So when you're consuming tea, coffee, also focus on little bit having a healthy tea. The tea which we drink is out of tea dust. It's a dust.
Hmm.
Okay. A little healthier is black leaves, which you drink black tea. Then is more healthier is green leaf,
Green tea.
which has more antioxidants. It reduces your aging. Everyone knows about it.
Also weight loss, I
Yes,
think.
weight loss, because it increases the metabolism of the
Hmm.
body.
Hmm.
Top of that is white tea.
Oh,
Yeah, which very few people know.
yeah.
It has very good properties of anti-Parkinson's. So people should drink white tea. White tea is made up of tea buds. Before the leaf comes, the bud, from that the white tea is made.
Hmm.
And white tea, green tea, all these are like they increase the metabolism. So it can also cause acidity. So
Yeah.
you should always drink
Post lunch.
post lunch, or after eating some breakfast or dinner. So with which you can actually avoid hyperacidity. So that's also a very good drink you should include in your daily routine basis. So this is the diet part. Then coming to the physical part, you need to strengthen your muscles. You need to see, when you exercise, natural dopamine is also released. That will keep away from your medications. That will also strengthen your mental health. You will be able to take up the stress.
When you say exercise, does it include weight training as well?
Yes, you can do weight training also. Younger population go for weight training, and older population they can do yoga. It's a very good exercise, yoga. It releases a lot of happy hormones and stress relieving hormones,
Hmm.
and it also balances your uh, body by improving the muscle tone.
Right.
So those are all isometric exercises.
Hmm.
Or if you are interested in sports, you can go ahead with sports, play sports, which also will include little bit of playing with your mind and your physical body, and there is a coordination between mind and body.
Yes.
So
Correct.
that's also a very good activity. Swimming, if someone knows swimming, you should do swimming. Cycling,
Hmm.
if you are nothing, if you are interested, then yes, do exercise at home, basic exercise. There are so many apps. See, if someone wants to really do exercise, they can do somehow. Many
Absolutely.
of them says, I have joint pains, I can't walk.
Hmm.
How will I do exercise? But there are so many exercises which you can do lying down.
Right.
You can still burn your calories by lying down.
Correct. It's all about the intent and the will.
Intent, yes, will. You open
Correct.
app and you find out what all exercise I can do in supine lying down position.
Yeah.
So there is no weight on your knees.
Hmm.
Still you can tone up your body. So this is the second part. The third part is mental well-being. For this, definitely yes, you need to socialize. You need to talk to people. See, never try to hide your Parkinson disease.
Hmm.
The first biggest thing you have to do is you need to accept your disease. Yes, I am suffering from Parkinson's disease. So what? नो, लोग क्या बोलेंगे, अरे हाथ हिल रहा है, काँप रहा है, मैं फंक्शन में नहीं आता हूँ, मुझे नहीं जाना है।
Social awkwardness.
सोशल ऑकवर्डनेस, वहाँ पे दवाई का इफेक्ट चला जाएगा तो फिर अचानक मैं सब फ्रीज हो जाऊंगा वहाँ पे, लोग क्या बोलेंगे। डोंट बॉदर अबाउट इट, यू हैव टू बी फ्री माइंड, यू नीड टू गो, यू नीड टू अटेंड, यू नीड टू ओपन अप। यस, आई हैव पार्किंसन डिजीज, ले लो एक टैबलेट उसी टाइम पे वहाँ पे, 20 minutes you will get the result.
सही है.
So acceptance is the biggest thing you have to do it. Once you accept it, you will be out of this social stigma, and then you will be able to communicate freely with the people.
Hmm.
Once you start communicating, so many mental health issues will be sorted on its own. You need to talk to them. There are various Parkinson groups also available. Communities are there. You can join those communities.
Wow.
You will get like-minded people. You can discuss with your issues with them. You can have entertainment programs with them. So it's very important to socialize, have friends,
Hmm.
and discuss your health issues, or you can discuss other topics also, which will relieve your mental stress. You will get new ideas also. So this is how you have to take care of your mental well-being. So if you focus on all these three parts, then yes, Parkinson's will never be a limiting factor to live with. You will be living happily with Parkinson.
I think very rightly summed up. And the most important quality that doctor mentioned is acknowledgement. Do not hide away from your fears. It's completely fine. You acknowledge and then you move forward with a positive mindset. And the three factors that he mentioned, that's going to be very, very critical for everybody to follow. And I think with this we come to an end for this conversation. I think it's been a brilliant and insightful one. A lot of you out there who might have had a lot of doubts regarding certain aspects of DBS and Parkinson's. I think the message is loud and clear, and it's pretty evident what you need to do and what you don't need to do, coming straight from the horse's mouth. So that's always better. Thank you so much, doctor, for sharing your thoughts and insights and all the experience that you bring to the table. And most importantly, आपका बहुत busy schedule रहता है, फिर भी आपने time निकाला जनता की सेवा करने के लिए, because this is also a way of
Yes,
giving back to
awareness
you.
is very important. Yes.
Absolutely. So thank you so much uske liye. And most importantly, you got the best advice. Thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing you very soon again.
Thank
And
you.
keep doing the great work that you are doing, which is almost like a community service in the best way possible. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you.